Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Mr. B and the family. Apostle Butler Pulpiteers, Lady Darling, the leadership of the Free National Movement, especially our chairman, and the leadership of the Women's Association. Of course, you know Ms. Barry is very involved in that. I had the very distinct privilege and honor to represent South Beach for 10 years. And I met Ms. Barry, I think, the very second day that I started being involved in the South Beach community, because she was one of the pillars of the South Beach community. And we went through a number of things together, and I want to say that oftentimes people are involved in organizations and activities, community development, and they don't get the thanks that they deserve. Today I want to say thanks, because Ms. B, as we called her, was a very, very committed community leader. She was a very, very committed member of the Free National Movement, as we all know. She was assistant chaplain in our party for many years, and she served as the chaplain of the South Beach Association for the 12 years that I was involved intimately with the association. She was passionate about several things. First, her God, as we all heard, and there was no question about that. Her family, who we love so dearly, and her party, and the Harbor Island community. She was very, very proud that she was from Brighton. But I want to make mention of the fact that the Barrys were and still are a good example of what we need in this country. There was never a time I can recall when we didn't see Mr. and Miss B together, particularly at our functions. And then the close-knit family that you see in front of us here. That doesn't happen by chance. That doesn't happen by chance. And that is something that is missing in the Bahamas today. That is why we are having so many of the problems that we are having. So we thank you, Mr. B. We thank Mrs. B for that wonderful example that you all have showed, not only to the community of South Beach, but to the wider Bahamian community in general. She was a committed and faithful person. She was to all of our meetings. She was always, of course, praying as the chaplain and keeping us centered on the proper things. You know, in politics, it can get a little contentious sometimes. And when those times arose, Ms. B would be the one to sort of bring a little calmness on the water. I always smiled, though, when she was praying. She would pray for the association, and she would pray for the party and the country, and then she'd pause and sort of get a little extra strength, because she had to pray for the opposition too. And I wasn't sure that came as easy as the rest, but it was an example of how we should all respect each other's politics and each other's wishes and each other's preferences. And she led the way in that as well. As I said, she was a prayer warrior, and that is something too that we don't want to take out of our branches, our associations, our political life. We mustn't follow the example of the United States, where you can't even, some schools say the name of God. We must learn and appreciate what Ms. Barry taught us. Always pray. Always be accountable to God, and always stay on the right track. So I want to say that I truly am grateful, Mr. B and the family, for the 15 years or so that we were intimately involved. I've been in Canada for the last 5 years or so, give and take a few, 6 months or so, or a little more than that. So I haven't been able to interact as much as I would have liked, because I actually wasn't here. But I want you to know that I am particularly sad. And so on behalf of Suzanne, my wife, who happens to be in Bermuda right now, so she isn't able to attend the wedding. She went there to visit her mother for Mother's Day. And she sends her condolences. And I want to say and take the liberty, because I didn't ask them if I could do it, but I believe I could do it, on behalf of the core of the South Beach constituency family, who were there when I met them in 1990 or so, and are still there today, working hard. It shows you that these are committed people. They are there whether you win, they are there whether you lose. They are there because they have principle and believe in development in your community. They believe that they have a service to the community. And I want to congratulate them in particular for sticking it out. They wanted us to be involved in something for over 20 years or more and be there every day when you are needed and continue to offer service. So on behalf of them, I want Mr. B say thanks for Mrs. B's involvement. So our condolences again. Thank you for the example, the love, the blessings, the comradeship, and all of the things Ms. B did for us. She will be missed.